Welcome back to the channel, everyone. This is David Hyman, your tour guide in Israel. We are in the old city of Jerusalem, Jaffa Gate. Today we're going to focus on the Jewish Quarter. I'm going to show you how to tour the Jewish Quarter for completely free. There are so many beautiful and interesting sites in the Jewish Quarter. They're all on the surface, there's no admission, they're open all the time, and they're all free. Okay, ready? The Jewish Quarter is an active residential neighborhood with about 4,000 inhabitants living here. The Jewish Quarter was destroyed by the Jordanians in the War of Independence. So that's usually terrible, but what happened was that it was possible to excavate, and all these excavations revealed these wonderful sites, including this ancient Roman street. This place is usually, there's like tons of groups waiting in line, and here I am on my own, just with one person in my group. So what do we have here? We have the famous replica of the Madaba Map. The original is in Jordan, in the city of Madaba, on the floor of a Greek Orthodox church. So this is just a copy. Why is this so important? It's important because this is the oldest image, a visual of Jerusalem. It portrays Jerusalem in the days of the Byzantine period, 5th, 6th centuries. So what do we have here? First of all, it says Hagia Polis Jerusalem. So we don't even need to guess. So the sign says that this is the city of Jerusalem. You can see that the city had walls all around it. We see the main street in the middle. That's the street we just walked on, the Cardo. We can see a gate with a pillar. This is Damascus Gate. In Arabic, till this day, it's called the Gate of the Pillar. And we see three really large churches. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre, the Church of Mount Zion, and the new church, the Nea Church, because Jerusalem in the 6th century was a Christian city. So the artist who wanted to portray Jerusalem, what he wanted to show and emphasize the sites that are important for the Christian faith. When Nahman Avigad, the excavator of Jerusalem after the 6-Day War, was searching for ruins of the Jewish Quarter, he knew that there's a main street in the middle of the city because of this map. So by using a 6th century ancient map, he found the 3rd century ancient street. How wonderful is that? And here it is. Wow. Cardo Street. Look how wide it was, over 20 meters. All these pillars were lying down on the floor. They were pulled back up, and the capitals were placed back on the top. These are the original paving stones. So this Cardo Street that traversed the city of Jerusalem north to south, all the way from Damascus Gate in the north down to Zion Gate, was the main shopping street of Byzantine Jerusalem. And to get a best image of what it was like, we just look at this mural here. Okay, we can see the main street in the center, and two covered pedestrian streets, all the shops and the shopping. Three of the builders of modern Jerusalem have immortalized themselves. Teddy Kollek, the mayor of Jerusalem. This is Professor Nahman Avigad. He did the excavations, and this was his assistant, Hillel Geva. If you want to know what they ate in the biblical times, all you got to do is open the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 8, verse 8, and you will know what they ate. So they ate what we call the 7 species of the promised land. It's 2 grains, barley and wheat, and then 5 fruits. And the fruits are grapes and pomegranates and dates and figs and olives. I look at my group's face like you're crazy showing us these old rocks. I mean, they're not beautiful, there's nothing to see, but why is this so amazing and so exciting? This is one of the only ruins in the old city from the first temple period. A very, very wide wall, and we can even see how tall it was because of the ruler over there, 8 meters. Okay, so what was this? So King Hezekiah starts preparing the city for the war against the Assyrians and maybe a very, very long siege. He does 2 major things. One, he builds a water tunnel. I'll put a link because we were there last week. Hezekiah's tunnel. He brings the water of the spring into the city, so the water won't be caught outside the siege. And the second thing he does, he builds a thick wall to protect the city. And a part of Hezekiah's wall was found 8th century BC in the middle of the Jewish quarter. This wall was so important that Nahman Avigad, the excavator of Jerusalem, when he found it, he said, out of all the things I found, this was the most emotional. Now it gets even better. Ready? Come. You can see over there like a little house and another one over there. So the wall was so important that King Hezekiah destroyed homes to build the wall. And then we read in the book of Yeshayahu, ואת בתי ירושלים ספרתם ותצאו הבתים לבצר החומה. Yeshayahu. So there's even a biblical source of King Hezekiah that had to break homes to build a wall, here in English. And ye have numbered the houses of Jerusalem, and the houses have ye broken down to fortify the wall, Isaiah 22. Okay, and we can see how the wall cut through the homes. How did this story end? Actually, this wall was never tested in battle. The Assyrian king, he never made it here. The final battle was in Lachish, and Jerusalem was besieged. But after a few months of the siege, suddenly something happened. There was a disease. Sanherib got called back to Assyria. He removed the siege, and he went back home, and Jerusalem was saved. This happens in the year 701 BCE. Okay, you can read it in 2 different sources. You can read it in the book of Chronicles. You can read the story in the book of Isaiah 22. And what I love about this story the most is that there are external sources, non-biblical sources about this story. The Assyrians also wrote about this exact event, and it appears in 2 sources. One, the prism of Sanherib, like he wrote a whole document of this whole battle. And the other source is the most beautiful, amazing murals that were on the walls of the king of Assyria in Nineveh, and they're called the tablets of Lachish, Luchot Lachish. They're in the British Museum. There's a copy in the Israel Museum. I'll put a picture so you can see. So this event of the siege of the Ashurim, the Assyrians, on Judea, Lachish and Jerusalem, has 2 biblical sources, 2 Assyrian sources, and the actual archaeological find. Okay? This is really, really unheard of when you have all these sources for the same story. This is absolutely amazing. Hurva in Hebrew means the ruin. Okay, the ruin, the Hurva, this is the name of this beautiful synagogue. This synagogue was built and destroyed 4 or 5 times. And that's why it's called the ruin, a Hurva. So the last time it was destroyed was in the War of Independence, when Israel fought the war with all the Arab countries around us. The enemies here were the Jordanians. The last time it was built was about 20 years ago, and it was restored according to an old photograph, which you can see on the wall over there, the Hurva synagogue. This is the etching from 1875. This was the building that was destroyed in the War of Independence, 1948, and was rebuilt, restored exactly according to this etching. In front of the Hurva synagogue is a replica of the menorah from the temple. This menorah weighs half a ton. It is a copy based on 2 sources. People who saw the menorah, Josephus Flavius, but also it is based on the menorah that appears on the Victory Arch in Rome, Titus's arch. This is the Jewish Quarter Defenders Monument. While the Israeli forces, the IDF, which was only 10 days old, was occupied defending all the other borders, the Jordanian army managed to enter into the old city. The Jewish Quarter, where we are right now, they fought back for about 2 weeks, but they didn't get any backup. It was impossible to enter the Jewish Quarter with forces, and the people of the Jewish Quarter fought until they surrendered. They were taken prisoners. But during the battles, the 2 weeks battles in the Jewish Quarter, these are the people who lost their lives in those battles. There were civilians defending their homes. Some of them were even children. So because it was impossible to take the bodies out of the Jewish Quarter during the battles, they were buried here in a communal grave. From here, their bodies were taken for eternal rest on Mount of Olives on the 25th of Tammuz, 1967. And here you can see the evacuation of the Jewish Quarter by the Jordanians. They were all taken prisoners. After the fall of the Jewish Quarter, residents near the destroyed Rothchild house. There's the Jordanian soldier. And there are the Jewish people from the Jewish Quarter taken prisoners. This is the building, the Rothchild building, this one here. This building is called the Rothchild building. The courtyard is Kikar Batei Machaseda, the courtyard of the houses for the poor. So in the 19th century, there was a need to build homes for the poor of Jerusalem. And the Rothschild family were the ones who stepped forward to build this building. There were 16 apartments here, 8 on the bottom floor, and 8 on the top floor. There's the coat of arms of the Rothschild family. Thank you everyone for joining us on this wonderful tour of Jerusalem, the Old City, the Jewish Quarter. So if you enjoy this tour, please give us a like, a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel down below, and please write a comment and let us know where you'd like to go on our next tour of
Wonderful Israel.
Bye everyone.
Bye.
Bye bye.